we begin, we need to warn you that this video may be triggering for some. If you feel triggered by this video, please take care of yourself, even if it means clicking off this video. With that being said, let's talk about the 10 mental health symptoms you should not ignore. 1. You're having feelings of sadness or depression that last longer than 2 weeks. All people experience sadness at one time or another. However, most normal feelings of sadness get better with time. The American Psychiatric Association reported abnormally intense sadness lasting 2 weeks could be a sign of depression. The National Institute of Mental Health stated, not being able to snap out of it or sadness being heavier than normal should be taken seriously.
In addition to what that clip just told us, you can also have the following signs when it comes to depression. A persistent feeling of loneliness and sadness, a lack of energy or always feeling tired, general feelings of hopelessness, troubles with sleeping or eating too much or too little, difficulties with concentration or paying attention, loss of interest in former hobbies, no longer wanting to socialize with friends, persistent feelings of guilt and worthlessness, thoughts of death or suicide. There's other factors that can go into depression. However, if you are going through something that you're not feeling quite right, you may want to seek professional help. It's best to go to a behavioral health professional. That can be a mental health professional. Get some help. Just don't think it's just going to go away. If it's been going on for quite some times, that's what they say, 2 weeks or more, get some help because it can continue to get worse. Sometimes you have to be given coping mechanisms to work on yourself. Other times you have to have coping mechanisms along with medication so you can get better.
2. You're having extreme mood swings and don't know why. Do you find that your mood seems to switch super quickly or randomly? Clemp and others studied how often the average person's mood shifts on any given day. According to the National Center of Biotechnology Information, NCBI, this study showed people tend to experience positive emotions, such as joy or love, more often than negative ones. But it's totally normal for someone's emotions to change daily. However, the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill, NAMI, warns especially dramatic mood swings that cause huge changes in your behavior and energy can be a sign of bipolar disorder. Agencies such as the American Academy of Pediatrics say the more red flag signs are experiencing sadness, anger, or feelings of excessive euphoria for most of the day, especially if it has nothing to do with what's going on in your life. 3. Your worry and anxiety have gotten out of control. Have you ever found yourself worrying but can't shut it off? According to the National Institute for Mental Health, it may be a sign of an anxiety disorder. Other signs of anxiety disorders include having problems relaxing, insomnia, racing thoughts, unexplained aches and pains, or being easily irritated. The Anxiety and Depression Association of America suggests that if you've ever felt this way on most days for at least 6 months, you should consider talking to a mental health professional about your symptoms.
Did you know that social media can have a big impact on your mental health? Frequent Facebook users especially tend to have worse mental health than less frequent users or non-users, because not everybody has a Facebook page. Social media users who have had negative interactions on sites have shown to have higher levels of depression. People who use 7 or more social media sites are 3 times as likely to suffer from anxiety compared to those that use 2 or fewer. If you're like many of us, your cell phone is your alarm clock. Conveniently, also on your cell phone, you have your apps such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Being that you pick up your phone to turn your alarm off, most of us, including myself, start to scroll on the social media sites to see what we missed. Did you know about 75% of the Facebook users check Facebook at least once a day? And about 60% of the Instagram users do the same. Now, we have this term in my household that we call the rabbit hole. Once you start scrolling, you go down that rabbit hole, and before you know it, it could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour later, and you're like, oh shoot, I've wasted all this time. Social media plays a big part in your mood. When you see a happy post, it can change your mood to happy. When you see a post that either upsets you or is sad, that plays on your emotions too. With all this, start paying attention to how much time that you spend on social media, because that is going to have an impact on your mental health, whether you recognize it or not. Some sites let you set a time limit on how much time you can spend on there. Check into that. Let's live a more productive life and not spend so much time on social media. There's nothing wrong with checking it every once in a while, but if you're spending a lot of time on there, and I know it's not easy, especially during this pandemic, not to get caught up with social media. This is the end of the first part of this series, and I will bring you more later. Thank you. Let me know what your thoughts are by commenting below. Subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of future videos. Like and share, and you guys have a great day.